What is going on with all of my people of the planet? I am D Venom, soon to be Silence, and welcome to Raising Vibrations Podcast, soon to be Recovery with the Invisible. Any amount of your guys' positive energies, positive that is, shown on all platforms created by me are always welcomed. And I want to take this opportunity to acknowledge all of my individuals that are still suffering and or the non. You just have to be suffering from something. It doesn't have to be addiction. I just want to take this time out to acknowledge you guys and let you know that your suffering can come to an end. But a lot of that is up to you. With that being said, you guys, let's get a peace of mind before continuing on. And welcome to the platform. All right, you guys, allow me to plug in my microphone. All right. I just want to say that all music that is incorporated in my live streams, which are no longer, and or episodes are not courtesy of me. Well, they're courtesy of me because I'm uploading them on my episodes and live streams or whatever. But as far as copyright, I have no affiliation with copyright in regard to the music uploadage. This song is courtesy of Amazon Music, and I believe the group is Morning Bliss, and the song is Soul Searchers or vice versa. But anyway, before I continue on, let's all close our eyes and let's take 3 deep breaths through the nose and hold it. And let's feel the pureness of our own energies, considering the world has a lot of evil out there. It's just nice to surround and feel the energies and pureness of our own energies. And exhale out of the mouth with a and a nice big smile on our faces. That was 1. Again. Hold it, eyes closed, and just feel the pureness of your own energies. And this is excellent for me right now because I'm in the world at the park. I'm not of it, but I'm in it. And considering the energies that I just left from, it feels good to close my eyes and feel the pureness of my own energies. Exhale with a and a nice big smile on your face. 1 last inhale through the nose. Hold it for as long as you can hold it. Eyes closed. And just feel the pureness of your own energies. And you could have just cussed somebody the fuck out, but still, close your eyes after that deep breath or during that deep breath through the nose and just feel the pureness of your own energies. Even after snapping off on someone, sometimes we have to close our eyes and just relax. Anyway, exhale out of the mouth real slow with a ha or a sigh or whatever. Just make some form of noise as you exhale. With a huge smile on your face, knowing that all of those negative thoughts, energies, or whatever else that you have come across in the world throughout your day, you're releasing back into the atmosphere and sending those energies back to the individuals that they came from. I've learned this technique courtesy of Sufani, S-U, S as in Sam, U, F as in Frank, A-I-N, kind of like Gwen Stefani, but Stefani Garza. She is or was my instructor at Udemy School, U-D-E-M-Y. And I took a course of hers called Master Zen Meditation and Wellness Coach Practitioner. I have since completed that course after a relapse back in March 24th. But I completed the course sometime in April, and now I am a Master Zen Wellness Coaching Practitioner, and my certificate is accredited, known internationally and nationally. I'm also a mirror work self-love meditation coach. So I'm happy, and if I can share the techniques that I learned from these courses with you guys in order to better your lives and circumstances, then that's what I'm going to do. 6:44 time of this recording. I also want to go on a limb and thank you individuals that downloaded my episode that I uploaded yesterday for you guys. It's been a while since I've given you all some form of hidden gem or gems with an S and or episodes because I was too busy doing live streams. And I am happy. Even though I was a little upset, I'm happy that Podbean has and still is in the process of removing their live stream feature. It's not the end of the world, you guys. There are other platforms out there that offer live streaming, but as of right now, I'm glad that it has been removed because I can speak to you guys without any interruption. 7:33 time of this recording, and get my message, my point, and whatever else across without people, I don't want to say interrupting me or whatever, because a lot of the times I allow people to call in and whatever else, but a lot of it went against the purpose at hand, and that is 7:55 time of this recording, reaching out to those addicts and or the non that are suffering from something. It doesn't have to be addiction. Not everything is associated with suffering that has to do with addiction, for lack of better words. You could be suffering from putting cucumbers up your ass. Anything is possible when it comes to suffering. So anyway, there's something near and dear on my heart that I want to talk about, and you guys are the first to hear this. I just left work not that long ago, and you guys know that I work in the field of behavioral health and or direct support professional. And I work in psychiatric hospital settings and or group home settings. And it could be a little much, especially when you are working with individuals that are a part of the problem instead of being a part of the solution. And I see why Source has entered me into this field in order to see what I'm seeing and learn from what I'm seeing so that it doesn't get incorporated into what he has planned for ourselves moving forward. And I was so disgusted at work today to the point where, like, God is separating me from a lot of people, places, and things. I had to separate myself from my coworkers because I felt myself getting ready to verbalize some things. And even though I was going to be nice about it, I was going to be direct and upfront because 9:44 time of this recording, a lot of the behavior or behaviors that are coming from my coworkers now and then it's just not cute. And it's also a reflection in regard to my behaviors when I was doing less than smart shit. And 10:10 time of this recording, being in a situation that we are regarding BHTs, behavioral health technicians, or direct support professionals, we know better. And even when I was smoking weed, which I do believe today I'm about 83 days clean from meth and about 14 days clean from weed. I don't know. I have to check my calendar. 10:44 time of this recording. But when I was being a part of the problem, trying to be a part of the solution, I remember taking my weed pen inside of various different organizations that I was working for, and I would dip off in the bathroom and or not just to smoke weed. This is how much the anchors of addiction have people gripped by the balls. You can't step outside or what. I mean, first of all, you shouldn't have your weed pen on you in the first place, especially being in these type of establishments, knowing that these individuals are dealing with weed issues, meth issues, crack issues, and mental health issues, and whatever else. I literally would have my weed pen in my pocket. I would dip off to the bathroom or elsewhere just to get high. And I also brought in methamphetamine in certain organizations. For instance, when I used to work for the vets, even though methamphetamine was already in the motherfucking building, I brought methamphetamine inside of that building. And I remember going into one of the, custodian closets where the mops and all of that stuff is. And I closed that door behind me and I lit that motherfucking meth pipe and I got high for the sake of getting some veteran dick. I mean, I'm just keeping it real. But like I said, considering the 12:22 time of this recording, considering the place of establishment where I was working at for the veterans is right across from it's not even across the street, across from the walkway, in regard to a porn shop, and it's by a busy intersection or street here in the Arizona area. So these individuals aren't being rehabilitated to save their lives. If anything, they're being further dipped into the world of destruction because they're right across from a porn shop. There's a bunch of prostitution that goes on outside, a handful of women, but mostly transgenders in the form of men dressing as women. And there's plenty of drugs. I know because I was a part of the fucking problem. I brought drugs in there. Not like I said, drugs are already in there. A lot of these veterans went AWOL because they were out doing drugs and whatever else the case may be, especially on the weekends. And this is one reason, 13:33 time of this recording, this is one of the main reasons why I got fired is because the veterans had certain jobs to do. And kitchen work was one of those jobs, or is one of those jobs. And a lot of the times, a lot of these veterans would go AWOL because they're out buying booty and doing drugs at the porn shop, just AWOL. And the managers or whatever, supervisors depended on us, the staff, to pick up their slack and wash the dishes and do all of that shit. And at that particular point, I had already left a job washing dishes and doing some of everything else. And shit, I didn't want to come home wet and soaked full of nasty ass food particles and whatever else from that job. So I damn sure didn't want to do it in regard to these veterans. Now, if you were a veteran or are a veteran that has some mobility issues, like maybe you're missing a limb or two and whatever else, and you just can't tackle those dishes or that kitchen work or kitchen task without being in some form of pain or whatever, I would pick up the slack for those individuals, knowing that they lost. I'm sorry, you guys. I had some food particles in my mouth that I was removing. Anyway, I would pick up the slack for those veterans, knowing that you went to war for this lame ass country called America, and you lost a limb, you lost your mind, you lost your wife, whatever the case may be. You just can't physically do this task. I will step in and do it for you. But for those able-bodied veterans that were consciously making the decision to step outside of the organization so they can go pick up booty and coochie and get drugs and go to the porn shop and get hotels and do the most. I remember a woman calling in to see if their husband was there, and they basically, me being the empath and the healer that I am, they basically just went off and just told business. Well, I already know that they're at this particular hotel picking up black women, black prostitutes, and all. Child, they told the business, and they're not lying, because that is exactly how it is structured in regard to this organization, or this systematic organization. They put that motherfucking veterans place there for a reason. And it's not to help the veterans. It's to keep them in the cycle of these systems that are all across the world. There was a vet or a veteran that was supposed to took care of some chores, and well able-bodied veteran, young on top of that. I think in their 20s. If this is the right veteran, but I just know that the veteran was able-bodied and they could take care of their functions or their chores had they not went AWOL. Anyway, the vet never showed up, and it was my responsibility to wash all of the motherfucking dishes that could have been soaked, which wasn't. So that meant extra scrubbing and some of everything else that I just wasn't. I wasn't going to do it unless that veteran had some type of medical situation going on to where I had no choice but to step in and make it happen. But the vet that I'm talking about, once again, able-bodied, I believe they still have a job. But anyway, mobility-wise, on point. So they could do their own fucking chores without any issues. The only issue is they decided to go AWOL because they were out, and I'm not alleging shit. I already know. They decided to go AWOL because they wanted to be out. Oh, I know exactly what vet this is. I know exactly what. Yep, they worked. I don't want to tell too much, but they worked and some of everything else. And yeah, so they were able to wash them dishes, because I watched them wash those particular dishes on several of occasions when I had that duty to be in the kitchen. So there's no excuse why you could not do what you had to do in regard to your chore. And come on now, y'all already know, to be a part of this systematic organization, you have certain things to do, and kitchen work after the food has been cooked or whatever else is something that y'all have to do. Anyway, they decided to go AWOL. They decided getting head and licking coochie or whatever they was doing drugs and whatever else was more important than establishing their livelihood. And it fell on me to wash them nasty ass dishes that wasn't soaked or anything like that. And I refused to do it. Like I said, I just quit a job washing dishes and then some, and I just wasn't in the mood to come home soaking wet and have food particles all over me or whatever, knowing damn good and well that this particular veteran was out doing something that they had no business doing. And I had to write a report in regard to the situation. And maybe I said too much, but I wasn't going to shrink myself for the comfortability of that organization. And I spoke my truth, 1944. And I let it be known that these individuals are out picking up prostitutes and supervisors, and they already know what's going on. Unless y'all are part of the motherfucking problem, they already know exactly what is going on, because it's a cycle in that particular at that particular organization. When people go AWOL, they're going AWOL for a particular reason, and it's not to go play double dutch. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I wrote in the not complaint letter, but oh my God, whatever the fuck it was, I wrote that I know that these individuals are AWOL because they're doing drugs and whatever else the case may be, and I refuse to pick up their slack knowing what I know. And maybe a couple of other choice words I said. And the report, for lack of better words, is what I had to write. Anyway, I remember submitting it, and the next following day, I received a phone call from the company that hired me for those assignments at the Veterans Place, and they were telling me that they no longer want me. Basically they're firing me, and I already knew what it was. They're firing me because I chose not to be a part of the problem anymore. I chose to be a part of the solution. And when I tell you that these vets were treated like shit, they were treated like shit. My ex-employees were so busy concerned about ordering frames for their glasses, or texting individuals back and forth in regard to having a car shipped to them and all the just goofy ass shit. These veterans would literally be standing at the glass window, because it's the glass window there, for the protection of the vets and for the protection of us, or them, because I no longer work there. But anyway, they would be standing there needing laundry items or just needing some assistance, and they would literally get ignored. And I refused to do that. I paid them attention, and I got commended on several of occasions for being nice, because other staff would treat them literally like shit. And that's fucked up, considering these individuals have done what they done in regard to losing their mind, losing their families, losing nearly their life, losing their dignity, and some of everything else, serving this fucking army here in America. But yeah, because I went against the grain and not with the grain, that caused a problem for the masses, and they decided to get rid of me, because they knew if I would have stayed around there any longer, I was going to shine that mirror of reflection on their asses and let them see who they really are in the situation. And who you really are in the situation is not individuals that are here to help these vets. You are individuals that are taken away from these individuals. But anyway, I'm glad that Source put me in these fields so that I can see it for what it is. Not all staff, but a great majority of the staff that are in these situations chosen to help these people of intellectual disabilities and mental health issues and whatever else. They're not there for those individuals. They're there for the pocket change. They're chasing money. They're team ball, BAAL, for lack of better words. I've heard on several of occasions, my check was this and that and that and this, and I'm getting over 18. I mean, it's not 18 hours, but 60 and 80 hours and blah, blah. They're more concerned about the hours that they're getting, the paychecks that's raking up because of these hours, et cetera, et cetera. You never hear anything in regard to the patients. Oh, but I'm so glad that I came to work today because I got a chance to work with this patient and blah, 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 blah. You rarely hear any of that. But you definitely hear how big a person's paycheck was because they put in this many hours, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, as I was saying earlier, I've been part of the problem on several different occasions, including my current job. I was a part of the problem. When I was smoking weed, I would bring my weed pen into the house, the group home, and I would dip off in the bathroom or the backyard or something and smoke and come back in and, do my job. And now that I don't smoke weed or meth anymore, I see so much bullshit and discernment will, oh my God, discernment will reveal and expose your ass. Just put it that way. There's plenty co-workers of mine that, look, we all know that a cold can last for a little while. And if you have allergies or something like that, I can understand the sniffling. But there's been several individuals that I work with that have had a cold now for the past year, and I'm just starting this job. And y'all dipping off in the bathrooms, y'all in there for a long period of time, then you're coming out. And one of the co-workers of mine, that's all they do. And they've been sick now for the past couple of weeks. That cold hasn't went any shit. You may want to be hospitalized if that cold hasn't gone anywhere yet. Sitting at the table, wherever they are within that group home, they're just sniffling, or blowing their nose. Anyone that has a drug issue or come from addiction or know that lifestyle know damn good and well what it is. Period. I don't give a fuck. And it annoyed me so much and they were sitting at the damn table while one of the members were sitting there eating dinner, smoking a weed pen. I know that I am in the situation, and I've been 26 time of this recording. I know that I've been chosen and put in these situations for various reasons. And there's been plenty of times that I should have spoke up in regard to the behaviors I've seen coming from staff and co-workers, but I just didn't say anything. Not every battle is meant to be mine, and nor do I want every battle. Source already knows what he and I are planning moving forward. A lot of people in this world don't realize that our 2655, that our nervous systems is everything. And my nervous system has been on edge or in survival mode before my creation. I explained this in the previous upload or upload/episode for you guys. My nervous system has gone through it because of Satan, because of my family, because of jobs, because of living in the city, because because of drugs, because of a lot of different shit that I chose and or denied. My nervous system has been going through it and still is going through it until I'm uprooted out of Phoenix and placed where I'm going. I know that I am in the position to write a report or, tell supervisors or whatever. And shit, what's the point of telling supervisors when they are part of the motherfucking problem? I remember I had a assignment at a group home, and I drove all the way to this group home only for them not to open up the motherfucking door. I got paid for a no-show, but I already knew, and I'm not alleging anything, I know exactly what the fuck was going down. Drugs are being brought in these group homes, obviously, because if I'm able to bring a weed pen in and other staff, just imagine what other drugs they're bringing into these group homes and these other establishments in regard to psychiatric hospitals and something and shit like that. And a lot of these drugs are probably given to some of the patients or members, and they're having sex with them and whatever else. For instance, one of the members, not saying too much, but adolescent, nonverbal, on the spectrum. Their back is turned, sitting at the table with a big ass TV in front of them, watching lame ass. I understand it's stimuli for them, but we're in the position to teach them something, and I don't see staff teaching them any motherfucking thing. So I feel like it's a waste of my time watching these videos or courses that are over an hour and something long, and nothing is being applied. Anyway, this person is eating dinner, and staff is watching on a big ass screen TV some movie or whatever the fuck it was. But all I know is when I looked up, because I'm in the kitchen washing dishes after the food has been cooked. I look up and all you see is a woman on her back, a man on top of her, and he plunging her. And I'm looking at the staff like, okay, if y'all read the reports of these individuals and the backgrounds that they've come from, some of them have been sexually abused and some of everything else. Why the fuck are you watching this shit? Even if their back is turned, they can still understand and hear shit and know exactly what it is. And on top of that, not saying too much, but the individual has a issue with fondling themselves. So that is damn sure inappropriate behavior considering the background of this individual. It was on my tongue to say a couple of things, and in the meanwhile, one of the staff is sitting at the same table that this member is sitting at eating dinner or whatever, and with their hands covering their weed pen, they're hitting the weed pen and coughing and shit. Oh my God, did I get irritated. And I was going to say in a nice way, without, I was going to be like, are you really smoking weed? And they're sitting right there, and you know exactly where they're, what type of background they come from. Are you really doing this? But I bit my tongue, and it's not because I'm scared or anything like that. But like I said earlier, every battle is not mine to take on. I, in a telepathical way, ask God to please take on this battle, because you already know your child's tongue is about to get glib, and it's not going to be cute how I address the situation. And I just allow God to take over, and I separated myself from my coworkers. There is a room in the place, or the group home, that's not occupied as of right now. So I spent a great majority of my day in that room because I had to complete some things on behalf of work, which took up so much of my time. And I'm hearing all of the sniffling. I'm watching my coworkers going in and out that bathroom and coming out, sniffling and whatever else the case may be. And, I'm hearing people, coughing and shit, because they're smoking weed, and none of it is sitting well with my soul. That was just a reason for me to separate myself from their asses and do my own thing, because I was just that motherfucking annoyed. I, on the other hand, want to teach these individuals something. They're on the spectrum, and they need to learn so that when they're in society, they know how to do certain things for themselves. One of the individuals, aside from not being verbal or whatever, come on now, you're throwing your dishes in the sink. Why don't you get behind this sink and learn how to wash this motherfucking dish? I'm telling staff, well, damn, they need to learn how to wash dishes. The only thing that I see this person doing, aside from fondling them motherfucking selves, is watching TV all day. From the time they get out of school, and especially on the weekends, they wake up watching TV and go to bed watching TV. In between all of that, not only myself, but other staff can be teaching them how to wash dishes, how to sweep a floor, how to clean a motherfucking bathroom. Just do something aside from sit your ass in front of this TV. And I understand it's a form of stimuli, but it's the same shit. It's the same stimuli every single motherfucking day. And it got on my nerves so much to the point where one day at work, I excused myself, and I went out, 33 time of this recording, and I went out in the backyard where there was another staff member, and myself and that individual, we were having a conversation in regard to some of the organizations that we worked for, and how they at least had some type of curricular activity for these individuals to engage in, aside from being on their cell phones all day, or watching motherfucking YouTube all motherfucking day. They had some form of engagement to stimulate their mind in a educational fashion. What these individuals are watching is not doing anything for their mind at all. If anything, is taken away from their mind and keeping them in that spectrum and keeping them a part of stigma. And I couldn't take it. I had to excuse myself. And I'm glad that I had that conversation with that coworker, because we both, even though they're part of the problem as well, but, the group home could have something for these individuals to engage in, to educate them. And they don't. And a lot of these settings, in regard to individuals on the spectrum or whatever, they don't have anything to stimulate their minds aside from TV and shit, or video games or whatever. And it's just, man. Anyway, I already know that not in this situation. I'm going to allege, but there's no need to allege. But I already know that mild drugs, so to speak, are being brought into the group home. I was one of the individuals that brought mild drugs in there, considering when I was smoking weed, I was bringing my weed pipe in there. But I'm going to allege this because I don't know exactly if it's coke, if it's meth, if it's some other form of substance that's being inhaled through the nose. But unless you have allergies or something like that, to the point where mucus is constantly forming in your nose, you're not getting away with anything with me, because I'm living with nothing but discernment at this particular point. Now that and it's interesting when you are out of the matrix, how much shit you see other people doing that you couldn't catch when you were in the motherfucking matrix. And boy, do I see it. I can smell it. I can smell it, and I can sense it. And it's wrong on all accounts. And this is where I should step up and say something. But as I said earlier, every battle is not ours to take on. Sometimes we have to give those battles to the Lord, God, Jesus, to take on, because we have other things to do in our lives on his behalf. And the fact that I'm trying to relieve or release my nervous system and my soul, mainly my nervous system, from decades of being in survival mode, even with my practitionership of meditation. When I meditate on my own, in my own personal life, my shoulder blades are nearly to my damn earlobes, because I'm still in survival mode, like I'm about to get attacked or something like that. How can I teach clients, future clients, to relax when they're looking at me not being relaxed and tense? So I kept my mouth shut, and I went into that room and I just separated myself, because I don't have time at this point. It don't matter, because I'm leaving Arizona anyway, but I don't have time to, after confronting the situation, go to work, people rolling their eyes, doing this and doing that, and just making the situation uncomfortable when my nervous system is already uncomfortable as it is. When it is time for me to speak up and say something, God will let me know. At this point, he is taking inventory of all the individuals that are a part of the problem, and he is going to deal with it, whether or not they get fired or whatever. He is going to deal with it, because I want to, but he knows that his child that's behind this microphone, if I deal with it, is going to be controlled, but it's not. So that's why I asked God to just take it on, because it's too much for me right now, knowing what I know, feeling what I'm feeling, smelling what I'm smelling, seeing what I'm seeing, etc., etc. Wednesday, I took some items that no longer align with who I am, where I'm going, moving forward, etc. It just no longer aligns. I took it to one of the crossroads here in Arizona. I'm not going to say which one, but Crossroads is a organization allegedly centered around helping people with addiction. Crossroads and all of these other organizations centered around helping people with addiction is nothing but strategic, systematic organizations built to keep those people in the cycle. It's a head count for the government, etc., etc. Anyway, I pull into the parking lot. I see a bunch of women playing cards with a bunch of female staff, because from how they were dressed and whatever else, they obviously had to have been staff members, because they weren't dressed like the regular members that go to Crossroads. Anyway, they're playing cards or dice or whatever the fuck they're playing, and I park and I gather all of the things that I want to take inside for whoever want those items. Well, for one, one person that was out there, I don't know if they were laughing at me or not, because I'm a whole queen, honey. And now that I'm more comfortable in my skin, I owe no apologies to nobody for being me. So they must have peeped my teeth. Well, first of all, I mean, it's nothing but transgenders and gayness in these motherfucking 12 steps. Anyway, I gathered the items and I'm bringing them in a particular area where I attend the 12 step, or where I used to attend those 12 step meetings. Because it was a Wednesday and not a Thursday, because I used to go to the Thursday meetings, the people that I usually see weren't there. But I brought the items to a particular area and I started unbagging them. And there were some members that, came up to me and basically just took the items. Long story short, I then turned my back to walk out of the door and go to my car and leave, because I've done my due diligence. I've dug in not my wallet, but I dug in my closet or whatever, and I took my items and gave it to the less fortunate, so to speak. So I done them a favor, and I done my own self a favor in regard to increasing my vibrations and feeling good about the deed that I did. Anyway, while I think before I even got in my car to start that motherfucker, I seen several members of Crossroads dipping off on the side of the building and bathrooms and whatever else, smoking weed pens and who knows whatever else, and returning back to the groups or people that they left to go and hit whatever they were hitting. Now, one of the staff members that was dressed a particular way, they relieved themselves from the other staff just to go around the corner of the building and hit a weed pen. The reason why I knew it's a weed pen is because this Crossroads allow individuals to sit in 12-step and vape. Weed vaping smoke is totally different from flavored nicotine vaping smoke. That type of smoke is just like smoking methamphetamine clouds. That's exactly what it looks like. And why they allow individuals to have those in those meetings, knowing it could be a trigger for somebody else to see that big ass cloud of smoke, I don't know. And why cell phones are in these particular meetings and shit like that, I don't know either. But anyway, I knew exactly what the fuck it was. And I'm just like, really? But like I said, there's homosexual activity that goes on in these meetings. The child, look, if it's easy for individuals to sneak in, members and staff, to sneak in weed pens and all of that shit in these group homes and in these organizations built to allegedly help people with addiction, just imagine how easy it is for individuals to sneak in meth, and they are, sneak in crack, and they are, sneak in any other type of drug, and they are, in these organizations. And you are basically playing right into the masses a game, or the game of man, the game of Satan, the game of the acors of addiction, the game of these systematic organizations. Y'all continue to play the game with these motherfuckers. Some of y'all and a lot of y'all don't even know y'all are a part of the game. Y'all are sneaking, and I see why they hire individuals straight out of motherfucking prison to be peer support for these organizations, because they know damn good and well a lot of these individuals' hearts are still black, and these are the individuals that are going to go against the grain and bring in the drugs and whatever else and keep these people relapsing, which means they keep them in the system, which means they keep them in that head count for the government, which means they keep them in control. I see through all 4422 time of this recording. I see through all of that motherfucking bullshit. And I have no respect for Crossroads anymore, at least this Crossroads. Quite frankly, I have no respect for any of these 12-step meetings, because I see right through y'all asses. I'm done seeing the surface of shit, and I'm seeing the depths of the problem. And you guys are hiring certain individuals to be in these organizations because y'all know that they are going to continue to bring on the problem in regard to these individuals relapsing. And the sad part about it is it takes away from those people who truly want the fucking help. It takes away from them because they're in this system where they're probably court ordered. So they have no choice but to be there unless they want to go back to prison or jail. And they're seeing people dip off, smoking weed pens, dip off, hitting meth pipes, dip off, doing lines of coke or meth. They see this shit. They're walking in the rooms and they seeing homosexual homosexual acts. They see all this shit, and if they're not careful, they're going to be tempted and they're going to fall prey in regard to circumstances. Man, is this shit. Oh, when you are chosen and live life with spirit eyes and live life with discernment, you are shown some of every motherfucking thing. And I cannot turn a blind eye to it. I see it for what it is. It is what it is. And I don't want any parts of it. I thought about going to Crossroads in order to pick up a coin for being clean as long as I have. I don't need the validation of that coin in order to let me know where I'm at in regard to my sobriety. I have all that in my calendar, and that's good enough for me. If I do go to Crossroads in order to pick up a coin, I'm damn sure gonna bust their asses out. Yeah, I came here Wednesday. I'm not gonna point anybody out, but I'm going to point out the fact that I see through you motherfuckers. And this is one of the reasons why. Sorry, you guys, 46 time of this recording. This is one of the reasons why I'm pulling away and have pulled away. And thank God for pulling me away even more from these organizations, because y'all are systematic and y'all are set up this way in order to keep people relapse and under control. And yeah. Man, oh my God. So I'm just disgusted in regard to what I've been seeing at my place of employment tonight. And not only tonight, but other nights as well. Not just this job, but my other jobs, being an independent contractor working on behalf of certain organizations as the BHT. I see the treatment of the patients. I see the lies. I see the over medicating, not to the point not to the point where they overdose, but to the point where they're knocked the fuck out and sleeping 24 hours of the day so that staff won't have to be bothered. I see all of this. I know that God is showing me this because what we have planned moving forward, I just don't want to take on that. If I can't give the individuals that I am chosen to deal with that one-on-one care, that one-on-one personal time, that one-on-one assistance, then I don't think that I want to be a part of it. I'm a part of it right now because I don't need the money. God has my money, but in order for me to transition and whatever else, pay these bills and all of this shit, I need the money. Another thing is when people from other countries come here and see that America is modern day slavery, that says it all right there. I work with a couple of people from other countries. I don't want to say what country, but they're from other countries. And I had a talk with one individual yesterday at work, and we were talking about how America just works people to death here. And it's a shame when you go to Walmart to go shopping and you have an 80-some-year-old woman at the door wanting to see your ticket and all of this type of shit, knowing damn good well if it's not your ticket and you stole something, what the fuck they gonna do? They can't chase you. They can't, tackle you. They can't do shit. But because they're so conditioned by the world, by man, by lies and whatever else, they feel that they have to continue working even well past retirement to make ends meet. A lot of these people at Walmart and a lot of these jobs, hover rounds, canes, and all of this shit, y'all should be relaxing and enjoying life. But because America chases money and because of the conditioning here in America, these people feel that they still have to be a part of the work environment. My own mother is a part of that. I don't know what I'm going to do when I retire, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to be bored. Why would you think that? You have a lot to do in regard to life, choices, and whatever else. But because you are so conditioned by the world, by family curses and some of everything else, you feel like you can't give up this factory ass job to go live your fucking life. And I believe my mom is still a part of corporate America. Waking up each morning, going to this job, sorting screws and whatever else the case may be, something that she's been doing for fucking years. And because you're conditioned to think that if you leave corporate America, you're going to be bored and you're not going to have anything to do. So stay in corporate America and pretty much die working in the factory. That angers the fuck out of me. It angers the fuck out of me. And I don't want that for myself. I do not want that life for myself. And I'm not going to have it. By the time I'm 55 years old, I will be ready to retire. And let that be the reason. I'm not going to be in corporate America until they say that I need to be in corporate America. Fuck y'all. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to live my life I'm living my life now. But I'm truly going to live my life in my 50s. It's not going to be 60. It's not going to be 70. Not going to be 80. It's going to be in my 50s. Is when I'm truly going to start enjoying my life without being so caught up in corporate America. Like my job now. And don't get me wrong, I learned some very valuable information, especially in regard to people from certain backgrounds dealing with trauma or traumatic experiences. I come from that background, so it was nice to know what colors to use in order to relieve a person's anxiety, et cetera, how to seat the chairs in regard to my own corporation. I mean, just a lot of vital, valuable information I received today. But, and I even, comments, yes, I left the comment, and it was also, because I was late getting all of this shit done. It was a lot of shit to get accomplished. Now, some videos, 15 minutes, some videos, a half an hour, some video, well, shit, I don't think there was, I don't think there was a video that was under 10 minutes long. A lot of these videos were an hour long, an hour, 15 minutes long, 45 minutes. I mean, that is, and if you are a student or if you are working 2 or 3 jobs, it's taken a lot out of a person's time. It took a lot out of my time today to the point where I couldn't even be be there for the members. You know, even though, you know, there was a lot of staff on hand, that's beyond the point. I felt like, damn, you know, I'm in here doing this shit. I could be out there helping them. And it was so time consuming to the point where I had to say something. And a lot of the shit that we're learning is not being applied. At least, and this is another reason why God allowed me to sit back and watch my coworkers, because it gives me the opportunity to make the decision to go with the grain and do what they're doing, or go against the grain and do my own thing in regard to teaching these members how to wash dishes, how to wash their hands, how to do this, how to do that. And this is exactly what I'm doing. I'm just going to continue to separate myself. I'm going to continue in my own way to be that healer, to be that guidance, to be that teacher, to be, you know, to be there for them without being a part of the problem. And if that means separating myself from my coworkers, not talking, just not shit, I rarely talk to them as it is, but I just don't want to be a part of that problem. But it's fucked up in regard to these group homes and these psychiatric hospitals and shit. And another thing that trips me out about some of these group home settings, they're allowed to have cameras on the outside, but they're not allowed to have cameras inside. I can understand in regard to vulnerable adults and children. I get that. But there needs to be some form of cameras, which I don't doubt there is, inside of these group homes, because the most is taking place. And I believe it's structured like this in order for people that own these group homes, because some of these people want to have cameras in the inside, but it was told to them by I don't know if it's Access or DDD or Medicaid, whoever is responsible for individuals being able to have these group homes, were told that they can't have cameras in the inside. They need to have them removed, have them on the outside. Y'all are structured to tell them to do this because y'all know damn good and well in these group home settings, people are fucking, they sucking, they doing drugs, they watching porn, they turning out the members, and they doing the most. Y'all know this. And why shit, hell no, we don't want cameras up in here because it keeps the system going. It keeps that head count going. It keeps that control. And this is why God is allowing. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm getting way too passionate about these situations. This is why God is allowing me to see everything for what it is now, because I can make better decisions moving forward. If I can't have a one-on-one client, I don't want it. I just don't want it because I see how people are being treated, and it's not cute. There's members that are in the rooms with these there's co-workers that are in the rooms with these individuals, and some of them are sexually active, touching themselves and everything else. Why are you in there? There's a whole couch or whatever in the living room area where you can get some rest. Why are you in the room with this member that comes from a traumatic background, been sexually abused and everything? Why the fuck are you in there? Hell, I really want to check on one of the members that constantly touch themselves because I know what the fuck they're in there doing. But some of these staff, they would go right up in there, close the door, and some of everything else. There was one occasion where I opened up the door and the staff had his hands in his pants. I don't know what they were doing. When I opened up the door, they made it seem like they were pulling up their pants and adjusting them. But I have a funny feeling they were in there doing something else. This shit goes down in these group home settings. I heard a story in regard to a female that was fired for inappropriate conduct. They didn't go into detail, but they didn't have to. Inappropriate means that they were doing something either with themselves or with the staff or with the member. It was inappropriate. That's why the ass is not there anymore. Lord, only thing I can say is thank you for allowing me to see me in certain situations, and thank you for separating me from the weed, from the meth, from certain behaviors that could get me in prison, in jail, and caught up. But the fact that I'm catching up other individuals, and when I tell you that my coworkers don't sit by me, I mean some of them do, some of them do, but they know because I bring that Bible in the book of Enoch and the New Testament, which I rarely read because it's full of lies. But the book of Enoch, the New Testament, the soul is healer, and the Return of the Gods are the books that I bring into these particular settings for peace of mind and for strength in regard to what I'm seeing, sensing, hearing, or whatever else. And even though I really didn't get a chance to read my Bible today because I was so busy engulfed in all of these courses that I had to complete, and if I didn't get to complete in a timely manner, that meant my job was at stake, my livelihood was at stake, which is bullshit because, I mean, it's too much. I mean, I don't want to say wasted, but I put in 6-something hours or more alone trying to get these damn modules accomplished. And that's ridiculous, but it's not scheduled, but it is formed that way to keep people in corporate America. Inflation. God has, when I tell y'all God is giving me so much wisdom, inflation is bullshit. There's no need to be raising prices on shit or whatever the case may be because of some fucking inflation. y'all are doing this, government, on purpose. Y'all are inflating shit in regard to price to keep people in corporate America, to keep people working extra hard. Why else do you see all of these older people working in Walmart or some of everything else, checking tickets and shit? Because y'all are raising the prices up on people so that they have no choice but to get back in corporate America and work and work themselves to death. And when I tell you that myself and this person from a different country, when we were talking about it and seeing it for what it is, it's a shame when people from other countries come here and see that corporate America is a money chasing ass country that just wants to keep people working all the motherfucking time and not have a life. And this is why people in other countries do what they do. They come to America, they establish business and whatever else, stack up their money, and they get the fuck back on in regard to their country, because there's better care in regard to health care. There's just better treatment in regard to people. Some countries actually see people as human beings versus objects or money or whatever the case may be. They actually see them as a fucking person. So I'm taking I don't want to say advice. I'm learning from my people overseas in regard to using America for what it is, a moneymaker, and getting the fuck up out of here. And I can't wait until it all happens. But I have to continue being in the wilderness of silence and mature spiritually before I can deal with clients, before I can move overseas, before I can build this organization on behalf of Source, etc., etc. And I'm not fighting against it. When I heard God whisper in my ear and show me visions in regard to it's time to pack up and move, I was on it. Even though I was going through relapse at that time, I was getting stuff out of storage, shredding papers and all type of shit, because I heard the voice. I heard the calling. I seen the visions. And when God said jump, I jumped. I didn't wait. I didn't do anything. I just started doing what I needed to do in order to get to this particular point where I'm at now. Talking to realtors in regard to private landlords and mapping out exactly where I want to be for a nervous system reset. I don't want all of this stimuli if I don't have to have it. Living in Las Vegas alone was nothing but stimuli of all sorts being thrown at not only me, but tourists and people that live there, especially sexual stimulation. The fact that right now I live across from the pool at my apartment complex, even though I don't pay attention to that shit, because I don't want to see you in your two-piece bathing suit trying to be my color. I don't want to see all that. I don't want to see you laying on your back with your legs propped up and one of your balls hanging out, getting a tan. I don't want to see that. It's too much stimuli as it is. And being in a large apartment complex with a high turnover, people coming and going, it does nothing for my nervous system. I don't want this for my nervous system anymore moving forward. And we're not going to have it after a couple of months. And this is one reason why I don't want to say I'm choosing to be a part of the problem because I'm not speaking up, but this is one reason why I've given the battle up to God to take care of while I deal with the members in my own way. And I'm going to continue to do it this way until it is time for me to say something. And then again, Source may not want me to say anything because he knows that it's going to cause even more disruption and anxiety in regard to my nervous system. It puts me further in survival mode versus taking me from it. So I'm choosing to keep my mouth shut at this particular point and allowing him to deal with it. But I truly wanted to create this episode not to put people on blast, but sometimes in life we have to put motherfuckers on blast so that they can do better. I was put on blast so that I can do better. You know what I'm saying? I put my own self on blast here on podcast just so that I can do better. After relapse, I would come on here and make a whole fool of my motherfucking self. But because I did this, even though I should not have done that because I was trying to seek validation for my relapse, I'm glad that I did, because it gave me a chance to look at my own self and my own situation so that I could do better. Me doing better for myself means that I can do better for other individuals. But no, I don't want it in my life in regard to these group homes, and I want to be there for these people. But if I have to share energies in the situation with other individuals, I don't think I want it, because everyone is going to, micromanage the situation and do what they feel is right for the members, when none of that shit is right. They're watching adult entertainment on TV, knowing that they come from specific backgrounds. They're not trying to teach them anything, but instead you want to be on your cell phone, looking up live stream videos of dumb shit. I see all of that shit, and don't get me wrong. Sometimes I'm on my cell phone, not like they are, but I'm on my cell phone taking care of business. But any other time, my cell phone is in my pocket because I'm around people that AWOL and some of everything else. So what's more important, their personal well-being or me being on my cell phone trying to post on fucking Facebook? Oh my goodness, you guys. Oh my goodness. It's too much. Anyway, I'm going to get ready to end this episode, but I want to say that I'm going to be posting some stuff, not in a chronological order. I will post the dates in regard to when those episodes were created, so that you guys won't think that they're new episodes like this one, when they're, fairly old episodes that I've created that I just haven't uploaded due to relapse, or due to being like a days ago, or just due to the fact that I just didn't want to be on motherfucking social media, more or less podcast. So I will be posting those along with hidden gems and some of everything else. At this particular point, I'm trying to finish up or start a interview with Bold Journey magazine. I reached out to them to let them know that I'm starting the process, and they haven't reached back out to me. A lot of these magazines are tired of me being repetitive. Oh, well, I'm starting the interview, blah, blah, blah. I'll get it done in this time. Shit, they done moved on, and I expect them to. Don't wait around on me. Go interview other people, because I have a lot going on at this point. But they're tired of hearing that. They want my interview, and I want to give them my interview, but I want to give them a damn good interview. So I'm working on my interview with Bold Journey magazine, and hopefully they will accept it when it's all over and done with. But a lot of these magazines have to understand that want interviews. People are caught up in the form of conditioning, and we're working extra hours and extra jobs because we have to make ends meet. Inflation is out there, and whatever else, and people are going to school, and I mean, we just have stuff that is occupying our time. And me, don't get me wrong, I want these interviews, bad as fuck, but at this point, other things are just a little bit far more important, and I just leave it as that. But anyway, you guys, I want to send shout outs to some of the individuals here on Podbean that may be still a part, that still may be a part of the platform and or the non. Karan, hey girl, I wish you the best moving forward. I don't want to use hate. I dislike the fact that I tried to go live and it didn't work, and I could have, seen you on the platform. Either way, all I have to do is just see who's active on the platform, and maybe Karen, you're active, and I can just check you out if that's still possible. No, I don't think it. I don't know. I just have to look and see. Lou, you've been a great associate here on Podbean. You shared your stories, and you helped some people along the way, including myself and whatever else, and I wish you nothing but the best moving forward. Facts Porcupine, you have been a great inspiration from the time I got on this platform all the way until now. I appreciate you very much, and I wish you nothing but the best moving forward, because you wish me nothing but the best moving forward. Saint, I just hope that everything, I pray that everything is good in your neck of the woods. Jim, you've been a fantastic interviewer, or person that I could interviewer and person that I could interview. You come a long way, just like I have, in regard to our addictions. And I wish you nothing but sobriety moving forward, blessings, and Jackie, I don't really know you like that, but you and Jim, I know you from that combination. I wish you nothing but the best moving forward. What's her name? Tweety, or whatever your name. I don't mean to say it like that. And some of y'all may not even be following me anymore, and I don't care. I'm paying it forward. I wish you nothing but the best moving forward. You were doing some major things in regard to your niche or your business or whatever, and more power to you. Thank you, crazy lady, for following me once again. I'm not sure what's going on in regard to Podbean and some of these individuals that were following me, that have been following me but are following me again. I'm not sure how that works. Repeated offenders in regard to people that are following me. Anyway, thank you, crazy lady, for following me once again. I appreciate that. I followed you back. And Cha Cha for real, thank you. Even my ex-Russian friend, we no longer talk because I had to cut them loose and separate myself from them. I had to thank them as well, because they showed me a lot in regard to that word patience. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. Hold on one second, you guys. Okay. All right. Anyway, I am going to get ready to end this and get home and prep up for tomorrow, because I have to get, I have to be at work at 8 o'clock in the morning. Hold on, I need to blow my nose. And no, I'm not blowing cocaine remnants out of my nose, bitch. Anyway, another 12-hour shift that I have to, I don't have to, but I'm going to do tomorrow. So I want to get some rest and go from there. Anyway, I'm sorry, you guys. I hate when I get these hard, chunky boogers in my nose. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be, graphic, but I hate it because they just get them. I just want them out. I want them out. Anyway, I'm going to end this. If I didn't already say that, get home, get a couple of things done, and the major thing is get some rest, because I've been going on fumes, but with the energies and the power of God, it has gotten me through when I've only gotten a couple of hours of sleep here and there. So my people out there that are in these group home settings, in these psychiatric hospital settings, and BHTs, LSAs, DSPs, and whatever other abbreviations they have out there, if you are not in it to be a part of the solution, then your motherfucking ass is in it to be a part of the problem, in a part of chasing money chasing, and you're just simply not there to help these individuals. I have compassion for y'all, that God has mercy on y'all's soul, because y'all are in it. Y'all already know how dark y'all hearts are, and These organizations, y'all have to do better. Phoenix Children's Hospital, y'all full of shit. Y'all need to do better too. Regarding status and not necessarily, well, turning children away based upon status and making them wait long periods of time because they have access public insurance versus some old private insurance that a family has, which can pay out and give their children the necessary help and care that they need versus an individual that is in a group home setting that has access and needs y'all assistance. Anyway, I'm a disgusted D-Venom, and I'm going to end this and get a peace of mind. But until then, you guys be good and think about your actions. Think about your own behavior in these situations as a behavioral health technician at LSA, which is a life skills advocate, and a DSP, which is a direct support professional. Think about your behavior in these situations and think about if you are a part of the problem or a part of the solution. And I will leave it as that. Until then, you guys, y'all have a good one. Thanks in advance for downloading my episodes and listening, and much love.